And the next day, I let the girl's boyfriend know what happened, and he straight up wanted to scrap.
Wagwan people.
Yo.
Welcome back to the 757th edition of SNG. We're 400 years old and we're having a good time.
We're having a great time.
So you may or may not have noticed that we were wearing some lavish attire today.
Something different.
Something a little different. Just a little mix up. Just a little one-off. Just spruce up for you, man, today.
You know.
It's February, the month of love. Feb 14th, you know how it is.
You know the vibes.
Every day the 14th. That's what's that? That's on the Love Below album. Happy Valentine's Day. Love Below album is a banger. That's such an underrated album. I'm pretty sure me and Toby are the only ones that like that album.
Toby likes every album.
He does like every album.
He's very eclectic when it comes to music.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, man. It's the Valentine's month. We decided to, add something new to the collection. It's a one-off for the month, so have a look on the website. You can see Jimmy's rocking the SNG Heartbreak.
SNG Heartbreak.
I'm rocking the Send News text, so
Hey.
See what you feel, see what you fancy. Obviously, all the different colours available. We thought we'd give you something nice, give you something back. So
yeah, man. So enjoy that. This is literally, like you said, is a one-off, guys. So this merch isn't going to be going for any longer than February.
Yeah, so it's only for 1 month, guys.
Jump in, enjoy, jump on the Heartbreak vibes. You know how it is. We've been through it.
Everybody wants news, so obviously
everyone needs to run those nudes. Run the nudes and help us through the heartbreak, man. That's what we do for each other. That's what we do for one another. That's the relationship we have. You send us in your issues, we resolve them. Send nudes.
That's it, man.
So
it's a win-win.
man. This is the relationship we have, and now we just want to put it on the top.
It's
so there you go,
win-win.
man. Enjoy the Valentine's one-off special edition merch.
Yeah,
but yeah, whatever, man. Let's obviously Patreon. I was thinking they know what to do, but nah.
No.
Let me remind you, man. Patreon, jump on the Patreon. That's where the good vibes are.
Always.
As soon as we wrap up this recording, we are about to jump in to the Patreon recording, and it's going to get saucy.
Juicy.
It's going to get juicy. We got some topics. I've already got some topics I'm saving for that one.
And if you want to be a part of that, you know what to do.
£3 a month. 10p a day. Run me P. Come on now. Tell them again for the niggas in the back. Tell them again for the people in the back. Run me my P.
£3 a month. 10p a day. Run me my P. It's that simple.
It's literally.
That should be at the back of your t-shirt. It's that simple.
Run me my P.
Run me my P.
It's normal, cuz.
But yeah, man, we appreciate all the love so far. As always, thank you guys for supporting us. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So the fun fact of the day, I might butcher this story, but I wanted to do it differently, whereas as opposed to just reading a fun fact, I've actually studied a fun fact.
You studied it?
Yeah.
So now you know the details.
So I know more details.
Juicy.
Yeah.
Juicy.
So do you know who, I'm sure you do, and I'm sure most people that are listening or watching know who this person is. Theodore Roosevelt.
As president, no?
Yeah, so he was the 26th. I think I've written that note down. I can't remember because I don't want to butcher his actual accolade. He was the 26th president of the United States of America. So there's a story behind him that him and his boys, I'm probably going to butcher it anyway, but it's fun. Him and his boys went on a hunting trip one time. And what they used to do was they used to hunt bears, apparently. So let's say that, for example, there was 5 or 6 of them. The 4 of them all hunted bears, all got their kill, whatever. But a man like Theodore couldn't get one. And he had, I think he had a slave, or it wasn't necessarily a slave, but someone that worked for him at the time.
Probably a slave.
But yeah, anyway, speak. Probably a slave. Worked for him at the time, and he had found one for him. So apparently he cornered the bear, tied him to a tree, and it was like, big man, I've got a bear for you so you could shoot, so you could be part of the gang, obviously, because he was an avid hunter. He was an avid bear hunter as well.
Yeah.
But man like Theodore said, this is unsportsmanlike, it's not fair. It's not even ground.
Yeah.
And he never shot the bear. So apparently this spread like wildfire all over. Obviously he's the president, so anything he does is going to spread. So they put it all over the newspapers, and it was like, Theodore Roosevelt doesn't want to shoot a bear, blah, 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 blah. And a cartoonist caught wind of it and made it into a cartoon sketch on the newspapers. just for shits and gigs, pun intended. And then there was a couple that I think they owned a candy store or a sweet shop, but they also made stuffed animals. So what they did was they hollered him to create a stuffed bear and asked for his name, see if they can pattern the bear with his name. And obviously, what's Theodore short for?
Theo.
And another one? Go on. There's probably people screaming.
Are you going to say Ted?
Teddy. So
I'm such an idiot. I jumped in there like,
Theo. yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Shame. That's embarrassing. What's the initial? Theo.
Obviously.
I was thinking, what bear's called Theo, cuz? Ted.
So yeah, they patented that from his name, and that was the invention of the teddy bear.
Bravo.
And that was around 1902 in Mississippi.
Bravo. I've always wondered why a teddy bear is called a teddy bear.
Yeah,
I say wondered. I've never really thought of it too much. Otherwise, I would have just Googled it. But it's always something that's like, why is it called a teddy?
Yeah, that's the reason why it's called a teddy bear. After Theodore Roosevelt in 1902.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. I like that one. That was very cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And you're welcome, guys. You learn something new every day, like I say.
Speaking of presidents. Now, I know we all hate Trump.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
But you have to rate him, innit?
Give me context before I say yes or no.
Say yes, and then I'll tell you why.
No. Give me context, and I'll say yes or no.
No, right.
But I probably know what you mean because I know you, so probably yes.
I have to respect his, how do I say, Dan Bilzerian-like nature of life.
Of course.
Just like the way Dan Bilzerian lives the way, if you ask any teenage guy, if you won the lottery tomorrow, what would you do? That's literally Dan Bilzerian's life. Mm-hmm. The way Trump ran his presidency was literally like if you asked a 10-year-old, what would you do if you were president? That's what he would do.
He would scatter the whole thing, yeah.
Man was just out here pardoning rappers for what? Just because it's his last day. Just because it's his last day, man's letting man out a pen. Just, you man, come out. I'm president. What a sick move. Not that I give a fuck about the rappers being out of jail.
Yeah.
But just like I'm such a kid. Yeah. I'm a 78-year-old kid, however old he is. Yeah. I'm just like, I shouldn't be president. Like, I'm just He's like, it's almost like I'm waiting for him to come out and be like, just so you know, this was all a massive ploy to prove how stupid people of this planet are. The fact that I've done nothing for the past however many years, but act like an absolute twat, and I keep getting away with it. To the point where on my last day as the presidency, I'm just letting man out a pen.
Like we said I can't remember which episode it was, like he's got the biggest balls. Like
the biggest balls.
He's got such bravado because he can do stuff and get away with it.
He doesn't care.
Do you remember? There's another random fun fact. Do you know when you go on, you're just Googling stuff, for example, and you go down a rabbit hole on Wikipedia? Have you ever done that? And you just start, you search for something, and you click someone else's name, and you click someone else.
Yeah,
you keep reading that and
Yeah.
I was doing that the other day.
Yeah.
So I'm an avid Man United fan, and it's not only until this current pandemic that I've actually sat down to watch football a lot.
Okay.
Because obviously, the people that know what I do, I work most weekends, and that's obviously when football's played most weekends. But I've been watching football a lot more this pandemic and fallen in love with it completely again. I'm a United fan, and for some reason I was watching. I think I was watching an NFL game. It was the game before. Where does Tom Brady play for now? Is it the Buccaneers?
Tampa, yeah.
I think, yeah. So it was that game, the championship for that game. So they had won their whatever it was before the Super Bowl that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
And the owner is a Glazer, and the Glazer is the owner of United as well. Yeah, so the Glazers own United. So I was reading through his history because I recognized the name. I was thinking Glazer. I'm sure that's the same Donny that owns United, or the same family that own Man United. So I was reading through his Wikipedia or whatever, and it got to a point where before the Glazers owned Man United or owned a massive share of Man United, there were other people that were bidding for it as well. And then there was a guy, you know that Ghislaine Maxwell?
Oh,
the chick from
Epstein's,
Epstein's, yeah. So her father was in the runnings for owning Man United. And I was thinking, that name rings a bell. And then I clicked his name and he said one of your kids was Ghislaine. And I was like, what have you... It's a mad...
Yeah,
do you not think how crazy that is?
Yeah, because all of these elite are brethren, isn't it?
All of them are brethren.
That's why people are out here saying Epstein's boys of all of you. Because you can go on Wikipedia and just find the connections.
Find the connections.
Yeah, that's mad.
Do you not think?
Yeah,
because when you just go through a rabbit hole, you find so many loopholes. Not necessarily loopholes, but so many weird connections.
Yeah, you realise that, you literally do realise that that's like, there's, all these billionaires are brethren.
Of course.
There's no two ways about it.
Of course.
There's so few of them that they're all boys. But yeah, it's fucking mad. That is wild. Trump's lost his mind. He's gonna die in prison probably. But up to this point, it's just been fucking whatever, bruv.
He got impeached and that was...
He's a big kid.
He is a huge kid.
And Boris did one move this weekend that made me realise that, like, you're a bitch.
What did he do?
I thought he was... I didn't know he was 30 bitch.
Yeah.
But he's a bitch now.
Now.
Like, have you seen that? Obviously, they've banned flights coming home from Dubai.
Yes.
So a man said, you're not coming home from Dubai.
Yes.
Obviously, they're blaming it on, like, I haven't read into it, but like the South African strain. There's another strain in South Africa, and they don't want to spread over here.
Yes.
But like, just the wording and the phrasing of the thing, and basically like the way it's gone is in that, like, basically. Let me get a context. Which is why I'm just rambling. Put it in context. Mm-hmm. So, if you're not from the UK, this will help you understand. So basically, the UK shut its... We basically weren't allowed to go anywhere in Europe. Europe said, you're not coming. If you're from the UK, you ain't coming here. Because every man is out in the UK just fucking and sucking, and everyone's got Rona. So these men said, you've invaded your own super gonorrhea strain.
Yeah.
You're not coming here. So we were like, all right, cool. And Dubai was like, come. Dubai was like, bring whatever you can. Run the pee and the pussy.
We got you.
Bro, bring your tits and your wallet. Let's go.
We got you.
Dubai's open. Come through. So everyone was like, fuck it. You can't keep me here. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to go to Dubai. And then everyone went to Dubai, lived up lavish. And Boris was vexed. Boris was just like, nah. That's not what we're doing here.
Yeah.
We're trying to be responsible on all these influencers. First of all, I hate the term influencers. And if I can ever get away without saying that word, then I will. But... all the influencers out of Dubai just living it up. And everyone was vexed. So instead of even wording it in a way that, like, was just like, as a way to be more responsible, all flights from such and such will be, I don't even know, but these are the regulations that we need to put in place to protect ourselves from this. Instead of actually just making a big song and dance about it like they usually do, man just turned around and said, without warning, man just turned around and said, if you're coming back from Dubai, you're not allowed. No, if you're in Dubai, basically said, if you're in Dubai, stay there. If you love Dubai so much, why do you live there? Man said, if you love Dubai so much, live there forever because you're not allowed home. You waste, man. Who's laughing now? That's Boris. He's vexed. He's literally so angry. The man said, you're not allowed home from Dubai.
Actually,
stay there. If you love it so much, fucking stay there.
He's probably like, I'm not a politics person whatsoever. Like, I don't really follow politics. I don't really get involved because it's just not something I've been interested in for my whole life. But Boris Johnson is just an idiot. Like, he's an absolute pleb because obviously he was the one that, the strain has been going on, or this has been going on for over a year now, or round about a year now. And he was the same guy that said, don't worry, shake hands. Don't worry.
Early doors. He was lipsing everyone. And he put himself in hospital. When he was on his deathbed.
As soon as he went into hospital, as soon as they said, he's got the Rona, I was like, oh my God.
He was up in hospital with lipsing, man.
Shaking.
He's a fool. But
another thing about him, sorry to cut you off. Another thing about him, I hate the fact that he can be our prime minister with that head top. Like his hair.
So do something about
is the most. It's the biggest slap in the face to anyone on this planet. Saying that you can be what you want. Like, how do I even put this in words? Fuck it, it's so annoying. It's so because
I know what you mean.
I'm picturing his hair top.
I know what you mean.
I'm thinking there are companies on their business in this place who's like, your hair isn't acceptable, but our prime minister
does what he wants.
Has this mop on his head, and he's allowed to be on TV with that.
He doesn't even acknowledge it.
He doesn't acknowledge it. He wakes up and just cracks on.
Just gets on with it.
His stylist just says, yeah, you look good today.
From when he was mayor of London, from earlies. He's always been like that.
It's so jarring that he's allowed to do that.
Yeah, it's a mad thing as well. I've always said as well, like I couldn't do that job. as much stick as he gets and stuff like that,
pressure.
I physically couldn't do that job.
I could never be
because you can't, in this scenario, you can't win.
You cannot win.
Have we ever had a prime minister where everyone was like, gang?
To my knowledge, not. I don't know. I don't think so.
Everyone's always vexed about
Yeah,
something.
of course. But I feel like as well, there could be a place where you can win because obviously, I feel like is it in New Zealand and somewhere else where they're like Rona free because their prime ministers or presidents or whatever they've got in their countries are women presidents or prime ministers, and they locked off the borders from the jump. No one's going in, no one's going out. Everyone's taking full precaution, and now they're calm.
It's true. This is the thing with me though. This is like a really weird tipping point for me that I like looked into and stuff like that. Because it's the same with like New Zealand. Mm-hmm. So Sweden and New Zealand are basically Rona free. Mm. But people don't also take into consideration that yes, they locked off their borders. But as soon as they open their borders, they'll all get Rona. If you know what I mean. Obviously now we have a vaccine that's less likely. Yeah. But there are also two countries that don't rely on like in the intermixing of like England. We're a fucking little island in the middle of nowhere.
We need everyone else.
We need everyone to come in.
Yeah.
We need to get our food from everywhere else. We need to get everything. We're a tiny little island in the middle of nowhere. Whereas those other countries that aren't necessarily, they don't live like that. They're more self-sustained. As it is.
Okay.
Which is why, agreed, they took certain steps that were better than our initial steps. But also, it's a case of, how do I explain it? Yeah, one, we rely on our connections with other countries to survive. Mm-hmm. And two, we like to see ourselves as one of the top done countries. Mm-hmm. Out of wealth we are, which makes, you can see why our politicians would assume that we're better than them. Mm-hmm. So what Sweden's doing and what New Zealand's doing, we don't pay attention to. What America's doing, what China's doing, what the other big dons are doing, that's what we pay attention to, even though that has fuck all to do with anything. And you can kind of see, it's like a rock and a hard place thing. Like, granted, they cut off their borders
from
jump.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't really know the economics like that. Mm-hmm. The economic strain could have been dire if we just locked off our borders from day one.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it would have been.
And a lot of people would have been, and then the kickback would have been way, way, way worse than it's already been. If he'd locked off everything, and then, I don't know, for example, fishermen have all lost their jobs. The like, no one's getting food in the country. We're all living off fucking baked beans because we can't get anything.
Yeah.
No one's getting any new technology or nothing. Nothing's coming into the country and nothing's going out of the country. Like, we can't survive.
Yeah.
Then, regardless of Sweden, no one would be saying, like, he wouldn't have a good enough excuse. Then if he did that, but we're all Rona free, but we're all starved. If he then went on TV and said, oh, well, I did it because New Zealand did it and they're Rona free and so are we, everyone would have murdered him. Because people would say, I'd rather have the fucking Rona than starve to death.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Of course it makes sense.
It's like a rock and a hard place. Obviously, I'm not saying him.
Yeah.
He's a twat. But again, I'm also thinking, who wouldn't be a twat in this situation? Because like, a lot of people are getting stick. But it's, again, like I said, it's like a rock and hard place situation. Whatever decision you make, there's also an equal and opposite reaction to that decision that has nothing. Any step you put in place to protect people from Rona, has an equal and opposite reaction that has nothing to do with Rona.
Yeah.
So, for example, your position, to protect people from Rona, they close all the restaurants. So people are like, yay, no Rona. But then people who work in restaurants are like, I'm poor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And restaurants, people who own restaurants are like, I'm literally in hundreds of thousands of pounds of debt.
Yeah.
You're not letting me open.
Yeah.
So it's a weird one. But then again, it's a case of, okay, cool. Open all the restaurants. And then the NHS gets flooded with Rona people.
The thing with that, the Eat Out to Help Out was the biggest, dumbest cause. Like, obviously, I understood the cause as to why he did or why they did Eat Out to Help Out. Just
so stupid.
Tuesday coming,
but it's the logistics of it.
Fam, did you go to restaurants during that period or no?
I went to one, but I remember on the first day that it banged, there was a queue outside of McDonald's around the corner.
family, every day. Like, let me give you context. If you've never worked in hospitality or if you've never actually been to restaurants during like December period, because December is the busiest period for every restaurant going, obviously, because it's Christmas period. You get families, you get from businesses coming in, blah, blah, blah. So obviously that's where everyone makes the most money. But the Eat Out Tailpipe, was it in August?
It was still hot, I remember that.
Every day felt like Christmas.
Bro.
Or Christmas period. It was the busiest time I've ever worked. I remember the first day we opened. We opened on July 4th. Yes, that day was busy because it wasn't Eat Out Tailpipe then, but it was obviously the first day we opened. I was sweating buckets.
Nah.
And then after that was August, was Eat Out Tailpipe. And then they were saying, oh, it could potentially extend to September. I was thinking, oh, God, please no. Please no.
Bro.
It was busy.
For those of you lot that don't understand, Eat Out to Help Out was a scheme that was put in place after the restaurants had been closed for so long to help the restaurant industry get back on its feet. The government implemented a discount for anyone who goes to eat in a restaurant. They get a discount and the government would subsidise the rest.
Yeah.
And there's a maximum of £10 per person.
Per person.
So what was it, 50% off?
Yeah. So
at a maximum of £10.
Maximum of £10, yeah.
So yeah. So you could get 50% off a meal at a maximum of £10 discount.
Yeah, so for example...
if your meal costs £20, you'll get £10 off. But if it costs £21, you're still getting £10 off. If it costs £30, you're still getting £10 off. Was it per person?
It was per person. So let's say me and you went out for food and our bill was £100, we'd get £20 off the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. But the clause in there is that you had to eat inside the restaurant for it to be applicable.
Yeah.
So takeout didn't count. So everyone went to eat inside.
And everyone was mixing.
We've just been in lockdown for months. And then everyone's rushing all into restaurants. And then his answer, because it all fucked up, was to just close all the restaurants again.
And it was proven that restaurants aren't even the biggest cause of.
Oh yeah, I know.
And it was just like,
restaurant one is annoying. So don't get me wrong. I'm not defending Boris. He's a waste man. But there's definitely dumb shit like that Eat Out Tailpipe. I think that is just categorically dumb and doesn't make sense. Yeah. Whereas other stuff, I can kind of see where it's just like, I can understand why everyone's vexed that he did that. But if he did the opposite to that, the cause and effect of that decision could have potentially been as bad, if not worse, in other economically than it would be like corona-wise. And it's always tough again. Depend on your outlook is always dependent on your how risky it is for you to get it. Do you know what I mean? So for us, it's hardly risky. So I'm more concerned about things that affect my day-to-day life with the risk of Rona involved.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was an 85-year-old woman, then I'll be a bit more inclined to be like, yeah, that decision makes sense. I'm trying to protect myself. I can see why he's doing that. I can see why I'm doing that. I'm thinking about my best interest. Yeah. You have no choice but to always kind of, even if you don't think you are, you kind of always think about what's best for you.
Yeah, of course. That's
so yeah,
everyone.
I can understand some of the decisions made. Other times they benefit other people. But again, it's like a weird one. It's like a super controversial topic, but it's just like, at a point, it's not going to go anywhere ever. It's always going to be around to a degree. So obviously vaccines are rolling out and things like that. And it's just like, I don't like that they rarely disclose the percentage of deaths that are from like, because obviously the biggest cause is like care homes and stuff, right? But they don't always release the stats of what percentage we're talking about are just care home people.
Okay.
Because if for example, it could be like 98%.
Okay.
But then if it's 98% and you came out and said, oh, 98%, we've got like 3,000 deaths today, but 98% of them are from care homes, then everyone will just be like, that's a no-brainer. Open up everyone and just lock in the care home doors, isn't it? Yeah. Which obviously they can't do.
Yeah.
So obviously I can see why there's a little bit of haze. It's the haze that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
Because there's a public, because that's when it gets political. Because at the end of the day, he makes all the decisions, which is for obviously like for the best of
best interest
of everyone.
Yeah.
But really, it's about what's the best interest for him politically. What decisions? So if anytime he makes a decision or decides to release a certain piece of information or not, will be based on, if there's any information you're hiding, it's always going to be based on how does this make me look?
Yeah.
If I tell everyone that 99.9% of people that are dying are from care homes, I'm not saying they are, obviously.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, if I come out everyone and say we're in a national lockdown because of all these deaths, but then 99% of the deaths are from people in care homes, how's that going to make me look? Like, because that has, holding back that information benefits no one but himself. So that's stuff that I get frustrated about. But at the end of the day, we're just living in a COVID world now, innit? You got to do what you do.
We're living in a COVID world.
We're living in a COVID world, bro.
That sounds so weird.
Yeah, living in a COVID world.
So weird.
I was actually thinking about this the other day. in that, like, from 20 years from now, well, like, you'll bump into someone who's like 20 years old, and they'll be like, "Oh, what's your date of birth?" And you'll be like, "Oh, I don't know, 13th of the 4th, 2020." And you'll be like, "Oh, you're a COVID baby." That's mad, isn't it? As soon as someone says their birthday is 2020, you'll be like, "Oh, you're a COVID baby." Weird.
Oh, that is very weird.
That's going to go on forever.
Forever.
Yeah. It's going to be in history books and shit.
Wow. We are actually a part of history.
Yeah, this is actually a part of history.
That's crazy.
It is interesting.
When you think about it that way, like, looking back.
Like 100 years from now, they'll be like, "Oh, what happened in 2020?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I swear, what's that called? That's the COVID thing, isn't it?"
Wasn't 2020 always meant to be like a weird year? Not necessarily COVID-wise, but the actual year 2020 wasn't meant to be like a super conspiracy kind of year.
Probably, fam. I think every 20 years is a fucking conspiracy year. 2000 was supposed to be a conspiracy year as well.
2012 was meant to be a conspiracy. I don't know why.
Oh, fuck knows. But yeah.
That's so weird.
That is weird.
So weird. I've got a scenario for you.
Yeah, man.
So, let's say we're all out. It's us, it's the fellas. Me, you, Jay, Rem, Tobes. We're at a function. Party's going, we're chilling. Like, it's normal times now. It's not what we're talking. I can't even remember. We're not talking about Rona times. We're talking about normal times. Normal times, yeah. We're at a function. Music's going. There's women. There's vibes. We're getting money.
Get money.
Get money.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. We're chilling. For some reason, you tell me, "Oh, by the way, fella, I need to go to the toilet." And I'm like, "I don't know why you're telling me. Go piss anyway." So you go.
Yeah.
So you walk into the toilet now. You're the only one in there, obviously. Well, not obviously, but you're the only one in there. And then you hear someone coming behind you probably about 10 seconds later. But by this point, you're already at the urinal. You're doing what you have to do. But you hear the door lock. But you're not too sure it is, but you know the sound. The sound is familiar to you. Yeah. So you're thinking, that's a bit strange. You continue doing what you're doing
still
anyway.
pissing.
You're still pissing. You're doing what you have to do. And then one brer pisses like 3 cubicles next to you or 3 urinals next to you. So you're not like close. So it's not weird.
Yeah, it's not weird. Yeah.
But he's wedge. You look at him and you think, fuck, he's big.
So I'm looking down and I just look over like that and then I'm thinking, Jesus,
fuck, he's
stacked.
Big. Yeah, stacked.
Do I take a look at his tool or no?
Say that again.
Do I look at his tool or no?
No. It's nothing like that. But you're just looking, you just notice that he's a big brer.
I look at his tool though. That's where this is going, right? Come on, I know the game. He's locked the door. He's massive. I might as well look at the tool now because I'm probably going to be tasting it in a minute. That's how this story sounds.
Let me finish the story.
All right, go.
That's hilarious. That's how this story sounds. So you're looking at him, whatever. And then you go off and wash your hands. No, he finishes before you.
Cool. That's not uncommon. I piss for ages.
He finishes before you. So he goes to wash his hands. And by the time he's like drying and stuff, you're washing your hands.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry, this might seem a bit awkward, a bit weird, but it's like, I've seen you in the function and I think you're cute.
Oh, God. I knew it.
I think you're cute. I've been watching you for a minute now.
You've got a pretty mouth.
That's why I came. Well, let me finish, cuz.
Yeah, go on.
That's why I came in now, because I wanted to ask you something. And you're like, what? First, you're like, crazy, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, what do you want to ask me, kind of thing? He's like, you don't have to do anything, but I'd really want to suck you off.
Oh my God.
I really want to suck you off. You don't have to suck me off back, but I really, bear in mind, remember he's massive.
Yeah.
He's huge. Yeah. So you're already intimidated.
Oh my God.
You're already intimidated.
Yeah.
I really want to suck you off. And you're just like, what? Nah. Fam. He puts his hand against the door, bangs his hand against the door. You hear the vibrations. I said, big man, I really want to.
I don't think you even said.
I don't think you heard what I said. The bass in his voice drops. Man said, I really want to suck you off, bruv. The bass in his voice drops. You shiver. What are you doing? You don't have to suck him. Like he's adamant that you don't have to do a thing to him. But he's like, big man, you're not leaving this room until your tool is in my mouth.
Nah. I will say, cool. I'd be kneel in it. I wait till he gets on his knees, and I will have to rock him with the
haymaker.
Nastiest haymaker I can stomach, fam. I need to make sure his cheekbone leaves his face.
No one.
He needs to be drooling out of it, and he needs to drop. But that's a risk. It is a risk. And the door's locked.
Locked, fam. So it's not one of them ones where you can rock him quickly.
I need to fiddle with the thing and then No, my God, I'll be sweating.
Okay. Let's say this scenario has played out.
Okay.
He's on his knees. You've rocked him. You're about to dip to the door. Let's say the distance is 2 meters between where you've rocked him and where the door was. That's locked.
Yeah.
You run to the door. You've grabbed the thing. You've grabbed the handle and you've grabbed the lock. You've unlocked it, but you feel his hand grab the back of your ankle because he's on the floor. Remember, he's huge, so his hand size is already massive. He grabs your ankle and then he yanks you.
And I just
he yanks you.
I go like a rag.
Your head smacks the door. You're on the floor now.
Now it's a wrap. I don't know where we else need to go from here. It's a wrap. I flipped the coin and it came up tails. It's a wrap.
It's funny because obviously because prior to that you have told us that you're going to the toilet, and at this point you're knocked out, so it's probably been about 10 minutes. And I see the Donny coming out of the toilet like
Yuck.
And then I see you about 5 minutes later, blue eye, dazed.
Just dazed.
Your belt's hardly done. You're like walking out there.
So hang on, after all of this, he still sucked me off. I thought that was a ploy. So after all of that, he knocked me out, grabbed me, everything, and then unbuttoned my shit.
He didn't. I said, you're not sucking him off. He was sucking
I know,
you off.
but I just thought that was part of the game. I thought he was just saying that to get me on his good side. I thought if I had to do it, then afterwards he was going to make me do it anyway.
No, he doesn't want that. He's not here for you. He's here for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So he knocks me out and then just sucked me off anyway.
The only reason why he's done that is because you rocked him. Because he could have... Basically, it's the easy way or the hard way. You chose the hard way.
Yeah, I chose the hard way. I think 10 times out of 10 I'm choosing the hard way.
Oh, for sure.
10 times out of 10 I'm choosing the hard way, and I need to smash his jaw in. Clearly it didn't work. I'd have to follow up with the left afterwards. Sutton, he needs to drop. I will be terrified. Terrified.
That's why I asked you.
Jesus Christ. He has to drop.
You would run out and come to us like, fam, we need to go.
Fam, I'm running past you, man, and I'll bail you when I'm outside. You, man, will see me dart through the dance floor. I will ring you when I'm outside.
Do you know what that reminds me of? You know those Instagram videos where you say, when you see a black person running, a black person runs right behind them.
Yeah.
So as soon as I see you run, I'm like, what's going on? Fam, I'm gone as well. Because I don't know what's happened. All I know is that you've gone to the toilet and you come out and you've
I will dart through it. I will knock any bitch on her face to get where I need to be. I'll be so scared. You man, I'll come outside and I'm just holding the doorman's hand, fam. Oh my God. What a horrible experience.
Would you tell us what happened?
Rags. I'd have to tell you. I'm not, when it comes, like, I like to think, like, I'm not a bitch, bro. Yeah. But when it comes to certain situations, I will just tell you. I have no ego about these things. A man tried to suck me off against my will, fam, and I had to fight to get out of there.
To be fair, you have to explain yourself because you've just darted everyone out the way on the dance.
I've darted everyone out the way and I'm sprinted outside.
You have to explain yourself.
Fam? Oh my God, I don't know.
Oh,
it'll be a horrible experience.
That took my breath away.
Oh, have we got a fan request?
Yes, that's what I'm going to look for now.
Gang.
Sorry, fucking hell, I just need to find it. That actually took my breath away. You make me laugh, bro. You make me laugh. Well done. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Good, G.
Because I knew your response anyway, but I just wanted to say it, and it's just, it sweeted me. Hey, I'm a big fan of the podcast, and I have a little question, thoughts that I want to hear from you guys. Is it me, or do you guys feel that you're talking to a girl, and it's going well, and maybe you can see it going somewhere someday, and all of a sudden, the girls you've been previously speaking to a while back, all of a sudden want to message you and show you their attention that they wasn't giving you in the first place? Now, here's the question. Do I somehow smash all these other things without catching the attention of the main chick, or do I block them and air them all? And obviously you put, could you keep this anonymous if you talk about this on the pod? Big man. If you've watched this, you clearly know.
We've never said anyone's name. We've never
said anyone's name. That's another pet peeve. I know his shit's.
He's just shook though, innit? He's just
shook. I know he's shook.
Double shook.
I know, but like, come on. When have you ever said anyone's name? I should say your name now. I'm joking. I'm not going to say it. But anyway, yeah. What's your advice for him? He says, I'm just going to do a quick recap. He's feeling the girl. He wants to pattern this thing. He's feeling her, blah, blah, blah. As soon as he's gotten with her, or as soon as he's gotten close to getting with her, all of a sudden, the girls that in and around that he wanted to pattern before, all of a sudden in his DMs hollering him for this and that and the other.
Yeah.
So his question is, should he stick with his guns and stick with the chick that he wants, or should he run through the phone book quickly and get it all out of his system before securing his wife?
That's a tough one. That's a case-by-case basis, G.
It is a case-by-case basis.
I would stick with the gun. Me personally, I would stick with the guns.
And stick with the main thing?
Stick with the main thing.
Okay.
So has he patterned this main thing yet, or he's in the process of trying to sort her out?
He's in a process. So he's saying that he can see it going somewhere one day, and he's talking to this girl, he's feeling her, blah, blah, blah. So it's not like they're boyfriend and girlfriend. It's not, do you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, boom. We can clearly both agree that we're going to pattern. We're going to pattern this thing. But whilst he's doing this thing, or whilst he's talking to this girl,
he wants everyone to run through, they're all shouting him up.
They're all shouting.
These thoughts can smell when you're not interested. Somehow they can. It happens every time. It happens to every guy. As soon as you're trying to settle down with someone, all the exes, all the whatevers, they all pop up. Always. And I've been there, bro. It's frustrating. But I would say keep your eye on the prize. Like, there's nothing but sorrow at the end of those nuts. There's literally nothing but sorrow at the end of those nuts. I don't know anyone who's ever ran through the phone book whilst they're trying to pursue a wife and then been proud of themselves afterwards.
Okay.
I just feel like after every nut, you just be like, because it's not the one you're aiming for, innit?
Yeah.
Like if I'm going for gold, you can give me all the silver medals in the world. But it's just like, what's that? That means nothing to me. They're achievements, yes.
That is obviously context.
It's whatever to me.
It also depends on whether or not these chicks that are hollering him, yes, he's not necessarily not feeling them anymore, but he's got his eyes set on one girl at the moment.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, obviously he's not giving us a full context of who these other girls are. So
they could be baddies for
they
one.
They could have been baddies that he's been dreaming of for time, for years.
Yeah,
who knows?
True.
And now that he's popping a bit now, or something's happened where these hoes have noticed him and they want a piece of the pie, but he's moved on. And it's like, ooh, I have a clear opportunity to smash this girl. Even though I know I can pattern the one that I want to be with, I can still smash this girl. So that's where it's a bit techie, because we don't, like I said, we don't know the context.
Yeah.
The full context.
Yeah.
And if it's a situation like that, big man?
Well, I don't judge whatever you do in it. Because I've been there as well. That's sticky. That is sticky. Because that's the childish man in anyone. To bang the girls that you always dreamed of banging, and then they just pop up at the worst time possible, which is what always happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I'm assuming in his head, he probably thinks like, if he patterns this girl that he wants to be with, that's him. He's done now. Do you know what I mean? Because this is the girl that he likes, etc. And he's probably never going to get another opportunity.
That's what always feels like.
I know.
That's what always feels like. Yeah, I know who he would say. Yeah,
he's never going to
get this chance
opportunity
again.
But he might necessarily not get the opportunity again with these chicks, but the opportunity might arise again with someone else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, and I feel like it's going to be sweeter if you decide to not smash these things, and it works out with Bae. You're going to think back at all these times and think, it will make you feel like she's the one even more.
Okay.
Because I went through hell and high water to sort this relationship out, and it's patterning and it's working nice. Whereas I don't see it working the opposite way. If it didn't work out with Bae, you'll be too gutted to be thinking, I should have fucked all these other girls.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a childish mentality.
Yeah.
You won't regret not fucking the tramps that are hitting you up just because. But you will regret potentially fucking something up that could be sick just to bust a few nuts. Just have a wank and then read your own message again. That is my advice.
Clarity.
Get some post-nut clarity, have a wank, read the message you sent us again, and then come to your own conclusion. And then after that, if you still think, nah, I actually still want to run through these hoes, then maybe she's not the wife for you after all.
Maybe she's not the one you thought she was. But again, these are all scenarios that we probably don't know whether they're true or not. So we're potentially
speculating
we're
here,
speculating
bro.
And making shit up.
We're doing the best we can.
We're going with what the context we've got and probably trying to add our own context. But I'm assuming you get the shit. I completely agree with James as well. Like, I feel like you should completely stick with your guns. Also, I think age matters as well. Obviously, I don't know how old you are. But if you feel like you've found the one, I'm happy for you, bro. But within the same breath, you should always not necessarily, how do I put it? Whoever you think the one may or may not be, no, whoever you think the one may be, might not eventually be the one at the end of the day.
The one doesn't always stay the one, man.
Of course.
I've had about 4 ones.
I've had ones, cuz. I've had ones, cuz. And you feel like, damn, this is it. Like I've been in situations where, obviously, you know, I've been in situations where I feel like this is it for me. Like she's the one. And I'll do anything to try and make sure she's the one and might try and make sure that it stays and blah, blah, blah. And you don't even, not necessarily look at anyone else, but you don't even entertain anything.
Not interested, bro.
Not interested because you're hell-bent on making this one work. And obviously, I'm happy I had that mentality and I'm happy that I stuck with my guns kind of thing. But within the same breath, you live and you learn as well, because now it clearly wasn't the one because I'm myself now and I'm single. I'm doing what I want kind of thing. But it's also a learning curve. Stick with your guns, my opinion, and James' opinion as well. Stick with your guns because even though it might not turn out to be the one, which I hope it is for you anyway, it's always going to be a learning curve because out of every relationship, you learn something new. Or out of every situation, you learn something new. And if you take the easy route out, i.e., which is fucking all these other girls, just to get the nut because they are craving you now, back when they weren't craving you, I feel like it wouldn't be as sweet as a victory. Do you know?
Yeah, of course not.
So yeah, I feel like hopefully, even though it wasn't like the funniest advice, it was just like nail on the head kind of thing,
just
you know?
go for gold, bro.
Go for gold. Don't really ever settle. No one should ever settle for silver. But it's obviously only different if she wasn't potentially the one. If it was just a thing you were seeing and blah blah blah, then do you know what I mean? Then
I'd say run through them all.
There'll be a completely different advice. But
I'd say run through them all.
It'd be completely different advice.
No future, run through them all.
But if you're saying she's a thing that you can potentially see going somewhere, by all means, man, because you never know what could bite you back in the ass. Because let's say you start patterning this girl now, you're with this girl, you get everything's going great, you've been together a year, whatever, but you chose to fuck these other girls that have been in your DMs for God knows how long just because they wanted to fuck you, and you did pattern them. It could bite you in the ass like a year down the line. You never know. You never know what could happen.
100%.
And it's better to keep what you've got than risk it all. And yeah. But
there you go, man.
That would be my advice anyway.
100%.
Hopefully that helps. I hope that helps.
If it doesn't, then whatever. At the end of the day, do what you want. I can give all the advice in the world. Do what the fuck you want to do, bro.
The funniest thing is that obviously we get sent am I the arseholes and fan requests all the time. And yes, we give our advice, but don't take our advice for gold. Because if it fucks up, don't come and blame us.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be like,
I don't want another am I the arsehole for taking Fion's advice again?
Big man. It's when you said that to me that day, I was like, what?
Bro.
That was
funny.
Also, I need to apologize not necessarily apologize. I just need to, I would say apologize actually. In a few episodes ago, we were speaking about sex and like languages. What's the word I'm looking for? We were speaking about
the accents and the
accents. That's
the
what I was
languages.
looking for.
You're on about the German thing.
Yeah. So obviously, if you guys aren't aware, or if you guys haven't seen the episode, I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago, we spoke about what accents are the most sexiest to us. During sex, Jimmy said French, and I think I said Spanish. But then I said, I can't imagine what German would sound like because my reference of German is just harsh and that's what it sounds like. That's German to me. Do you know what I mean? That's German to me. But I've got no other reference. Do you know what I mean? I only know what I see or what I'll see or hear on TV. I've never been to Germany, blah, blah, blah. So yeah. So someone hit me up. A few people hit me up actually.
Yeah.
So the first person that hit me up, she was saying what she gave me a few phrases and I had to completely agree. It just didn't sound sexy at all. The first one that hit me up, and she said something like, she gave me a phrase that says, either fuck me harder or suck my dick or something like that, and it just didn't sound appealing whatsoever. It's like I couldn't imagine hearing that or saying that.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah. But another person hit me up, and I don't know what she said in English, but how she said it, it might as well have been Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And apparently in Germany, I don't know, don't quote me on this, is what she told me, that kids call their parents mummy and puppy the same way Spanish people do. So I'm assuming they not necessarily say that during sex, but it's part of their lingo. So they can say that as well. And when she spoke in German to me, boy, the voice note, I was like, ooh, okay.
You can see it.
I could see it. So
fair play.
Because of that, I apologize. I apologize. So yeah, I just had to get that out of the way.
But that's blessed life, man.
I just had to let you man know. So any Germans, let you guys know, German is a sexy language. It's a borderline sexy language. Sometimes it might sound great. Sometimes it might sound bad. But yeah.
Gang.
I thought I'd let you man know.
Cool, man. Are we wrapping up?
Am I the arsehole?
Oh yeah, am I the arsehole? Sorry. Sometimes I get mixed up with the final question, am I the arseholes?
We have to do it, am I the arsehole? If you ain't got one, I got loads, bro.
Oh, go.
Oh, cool. Ooh, okay. Am I the arsehole for letting a threesome go down?
Oh, hello.
I knew you'd like it. Right. So me and the boys go to a house party and all the girls are single except for one. As the night goes on, everyone starts getting drunk and all the girls... As the night goes on, everyone starts getting drunk and one of the girls, that's single, was feeling me and I was feeling her too. One thing leads to another and me and this girl get down to the nasty. And as I'm blowing her back out, the girl who has a boyfriend walks in. Interesting, right? Interesting, right?
Yes.
Before I can react, she starts lipsing me.
Nah! I'm so sick and tired of repeating myself. Where are these house parties happening?
Abroad.
We've got guys on guys. We've got threesomes in relationships. We've got all sorts of these house parties, bro.
They're happening abroad. They're not happening here, fam.
UK housewives are so dead in comparison to this.
Anyway, it's frustrating.
Oh,
So as soon as I read it, I knew you'd love it. I knew you'd love this one.
Yeah, go on.
You're bouncing. Man, bouncing.
Yeah.
You saw, that's jokes.
Yeah.
Before I can react, she starts lipsing me. And next thing you know, a full-on threesome's going down. It was Peg, not gonna lie. This is very fucked up because I've read this one before. And the next day, I let the girl's boyfriend know what happened and he straight up wanted to scrap. For the audio listeners, James, after I read what I read, James just stood up and left. Because clearly, you are the arsehole. You were an idiot for telling the boyfriend. I've not even finished the thing. Let me finish reading it. And the next day, I let the girl's boyfriend know what happened, and he straight up wanted to scrap. I told him it wasn't that deep because I know I'd flatten him. But he didn't want to let it go. Am I the arsehole for letting him know or letting the threesome go down? Love what you guys are doing. Much love. Big man.
Wait, yeah. So listen. Big man, I'm so before I say what I have to say, I'm so happy that you're a fan of the show. I'm so happy that you sent us in the message. I'm so happy that you show us the love and support. But come to the studio and scrap me. Come to the studio because your bravado is off the charts.
Oh, fam?
You need, no offense, fam, you need a smack in the face. You mean to tell me, listen, I'm sat up. You mean to tell me you smashed next man's girl, then told him that you smashed his girl, then you're talking chest about, you're flirting him. Big man, I'll knock you out. That's unacceptable behavior, sir. That's sir. I want to say polite. That's unacceptable behavior. I will smack the snot out of your nose back. If I heard, say if that happened to you and you told me that Donnie had smashed your girl and run to you, told you about it, and then said he'd smack you up, so you basically said you need to calm down because I'll flatten you anyway, cuz. We're running to his yard.
Of course we are. We're at his location already.
Big man.
It got, because when I read it, I got as excited as you.
Yeah.
It was all juicy, threesome this, threesome that, with a girlfriend as well.
Yes, fam.
And then you had the chest to tell him that, oh, big man, by the way, yesterday, I smashed your girl, you know.
In a three-way thing.
Not even in a three-way.
Not even we got caught up. In a three-way thing.
And she was the second one. So you were doing a thing with a single chick anyway. So...
Why would you tell him that?
Why would you tell him? What benefit is that for you? How does that benefit you in any
It's
which
a
way?
power play.
Yeah, obviously, it's a power
That's
play.
narcissistic behavior, cuz. You just wanted to feel like you had something on him.
For no reason. You
For
got
no reason.
your
You
nut.
got a win last night.
You got a huge dub.
Massive dub, bruv. And you fucked it. You completely fumbled it, bruv. You went and broke the rules. The rules are, if you're going to smash next man's girl, don't run off and tell him.
You keep it stum. You keep it
Keep
to
the
yourself.
pride inside your chest, cuz.
That's it, because now you and her know wagwan. It's happened. There's no, she's obviously never going to tell her man. And you should obviously hold that same respect and never tell her man anyway.
You could be living like, she could have patterned more and more threesomes for you, cuz this could have been a thing for you, bruv. You're up here.
You started on a win. You started so high,
you were looking
bro.
down at my man and thought, he's not low enough. You're on a mountaintop. And you looked down at Donnie and said, he's not small enough, bruv.
Let me dig his grave.
Let me dig his fucking grave and put him under the dirt.
Let me put him 6
And when
feet
he tries to defend himself, because you've entered his DMs and ruined his day, when he gets a bit brazy about it, you want to put him lower and
Like,
say,
nah,
big man,
dude,
it's not
I'll
even a big deal because I'll
flatten
flatten you.
The thing is,
Big man. I've never heard such fight talk in my life.
Neither have I, bro. Apart from the message one, the chick that
Recorded
getting her smashed out. That one,
I knew you were gonna
that
say
was fight talk.
Yeah, it was fight talk.
But if my man had told me face to face, I think I would have grabbed anything to stab him. Do you know what I mean? Anything.
Yeah.
I would have had a spoon. I would have stabbed him.
Yeah.
You can't tell me such a thing.
Yeah, you can't, bruv. What's wrong with, like, no offense, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'll be more mad at him than my girl. Like that. Yes, my girl disrespected me. Don't get me wrong. I know people
you
are
know
like,
we're done.
yes.
I'm not even gonna talk to her, but done.
She went done. That's neither here nor there. I can move on.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you had the balls to tell me this to my face and say you would flatter me on top of it. I don't care. I'm flattening you and your family.
We're scrapping.
Fam, we have to.
We have to. I don't care if you flatter me. Like, your nose is done.
We have to. You've put me in a position where I've got no choice but to fight. Whether I lose my life, you're losing something too.
I've got everything I have as a man dictates this moment right now. If I walk away from this without sparking you, I'm not a man. I'm not a man.
You're a bitch forever.
You're literally, he was living his life and you've then put his manhood on the line for no good reason.
You've ruined his day.
For no good reason, cuz. Why would you do that? And then you have the audacity to ask us if you're an asshole for it.
Man said, am I the arsehole for telling him or smashing the girl?
Everything and above. What are we doing?
What are we talking about?
Who raised you? No offense, who raised you?
Who raised you? Oh, big man.
What's going on?
What is going on?
I was so excited at the beginning of that.
Fam?
I was really fucking excited.
So was I. Because I knew as soon as I read it, my eyes widened when I read it the first time. I read it a while ago. And then when I read the ending, I was thinking, what do you expect us to say? Like, what do you expect us to say? See you next week.
I'll see you later, bro. You ruined it. You ruined the whole pod for everyone. Say thank you for ruining everyone's Monday. You ruined everyone's Monday, bro. For God's sake.